of what was going on over at Pleasant Grove High School with the young ladies who wrote their administrators a letter kind of detailing the things that were happening on campus, like nooses being thrown into the classroom while they were taking
Mm,
tests, being followed home with by somebody driving a truck with a Confederate flag in the window.
mm,
And so instead of them adhering to what these young ladies put on paper, they decided to go and target them. They started targeting them in class, retaliating because they went on the news station and talked about what was happening on campus that the administrators refused to address. And so
mm.
I remember they had a town hall. I think it was about 400, 500 people. And I ended up being the first speaker. However, that happened. God has a sense of humor. And I told her, go ahead and take a break. I had it from here. And so I've been doing educational advocacy since then because I believe that whenever our children encounter somebody in a school environment, there is a power imbalance. I'm here
Mm.
to equal out that power imbalance.
Mm. And one of the things about your program that stood out to me because growing up in Sacramento. Wait, first let me ask: did you grow up in Sacramento?
I did. Valley High School, class of
Alley High.
1997. Shout out to my Vikings out there. Yeah, I'm here. I went to Cordova first. So I started my freshman year at Cordova, but at the end of freshman year, I transferred over to Valley and I ended up graduating from Valley.
Okay, because I graduated from Burbank in
Okay,
'98.
come on, Titans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of the things that stood out to me about your program is the focus on the youth because growing up here in Sacramento and going to public school, it was tough, man. Like a lot of teachers that weren't from the community, a lot of people that didn't really feel like they gave a shit about everything that was going on outside of the school. Like when you
You
left school, a
know? Mhm.
lot of us had problems that had nothing to do with a book or
Yeah.
nothing to do with learning. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So how did you manage that part? Because I remember like the live show we did, I could kind of feel your frustration with the school system.
Oh, I
Like I
get
can
pissed
feel
off.
your
Yeah.
frustration from
No, just pray for me. They make me upset, honey. Yeah, and it's just the benign neglect. You know
mm,
what I mean? The neglect of our young people, the neglect of our needs, the knowing that something is happening in the community or with Black students. You can tell, people lie, numbers do not. So you
mhm,
know that there are problems happening in your on your campuses or within your district, and you're refusing to address them or direct resources to that specific problem. They have money for everybody else but Black people. Let's keep it a
mhm,
buck.
mhm,
And so what we do, we go to the school board meetings. I was supposed to be at one tonight, but I neglected to go because I didn't want to. I'm tired. But we take complaints from parents throughout the school districts. We're not just in Elk Grove. I will go anywhere. I've flown to LA a couple times to represent families down there. And
mm,
we have to start moving with intentionality because we know what's happening. If we were dealing with things when we were these young people's ages, we know what's happening. We
mhm,
just didn't have a pandemic to contend with. We didn't have and I always tell my kids that work here, there's a difference between what we see kind of in the South and what we see in California. California has covert racism. It's
mhm,
undercover, right? They don't want you to know that they really don't fool with you, but they're
mhm,
gonna make it in their policies impossible for you to advance because they just don't want you to. They
mhm.
have to have somebody at the bottom.
Very true.
We're the legs of the table that everybody's standing on. Let's keep it real.
This is
Um,
very true.
Other problem is and I done forgot my train of thought because I just went in the whole circle. But so with the complaints that we take, we're in school board meetings, we're at in district meetings, talking to these folks about how they can better communicate with parents, how they can better serve children, how they can and what we've actually done was we've taken in peer advocates, so kids closer to the age of these kids that we're talking about,
Mhm,
they then weigh in on the conversation. So it's
mm.
a holistic approach to problem solving, and we're involving the whole team and trying to make it better for the babies on the ground.
That's dope. Now, a question I have for you because I'm looking at everything you're doing, like with